Hey folks, welcome to our latest episode of Football is Life. We're back. So I'm a different location. Mike's like that. He's got the slow fingers going.
Yeah.
Wow. Panic at the Disco. Why is that, eh? So listen, I think where we start is obvious. We had a massive heavyweight clash at the Etihad on Sunday. Yes, I had but I mean, I think Mike, you Americans, my sister-in-law's heavily pregnant, about to give birth soon, and we had a baby shower, which obviously it was lovely because it was an excuse to get the family together. So I was barbecuing for everyone. It was lovely, and then it just all finished just before the game. Timed it to perfection.
Nice.
Sat down at 4:30 p.m. UK time to watch the game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Was a compelling watch.
It didn't suck. Like, it wasn't turgid. It was a good match.
Well, let's start with that, Mike. So in terms of the approach, so let's start with the approach.
Yep.
We'll come to the result. I think it's an obvious place to start as the result, but I want to start with the approach. What did you make of the approach and the overall performance of your team in that game?
As I said in our group chat afterwards, if that effort had shown up over the last month, this game would have been irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because they pressed, they played well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pep had a lovely comment yesterday, I think. It was like, yeah, Arsenal hit the post twice and so did we, right? So like there were bounces both ways that went one way or another. And so it could have just as easily been a draw. It could have just as easily been an Arsenal win if one of those bounces goes a different way. So I didn't hate the approach, and it was frustrating because I know that they have that in their locker, and where has that been for the last month? The Wolves result is different. The Bournemouth result is different. Like, all of these things happen, and suddenly those drop points make this match irrelevant. And yet here we are.
So, okay. Wazza, what did you make on the other side? So Man City's performance. Like, what did you think about your team's performance and how they showed up in that game, and maybe Arsenal's approach and performance as well? Do you think that's fair, that it was pretty even and maybe could have gone either way? Maybe a draw would have been fair, or what do you think?
So
he's gonna put out the bottle. He's got the baby bottle, doesn't he? He's just got...
It's weird because the thing is that upon reflection, yes, it was a very even game. Arsenal finally played a decent game of football on the eye. Like, it wasn't hideous this time around. It wasn't like a good from far, far from good kind of thing. It was better than average, which for Arsenal, which is huge. I will say one thing though: if Donnarumma didn't absolutely,
I agree with this,
completely fumble the bag, I can't help but think that it would have been one-way traffic for most of it. Like,
I agree.
Absolutely, like that could have been a cricket score, in the sense that the more Arsenal progress into the game, the more they open up. And you saw what we were doing the second they started to open up. We were pouncing on that immediately. Ryan Cherky and Semenyo absolutely demolished Mosquera and Hincapié. I think that I never thought I'd say this in my life, but God bless Kai Havertz for making the game close. Because if he didn't do what he did, and if Donnarumma didn't do what he did, I genuinely think that Arsenal lose that game 3-0.
Listen, mate, do you know what's funny? That's my... See the Donnarumma mistake. I mean, David Raya, I think it was a terrible tie. He almost did the same thing in the first 60 seconds of the game, which was like, you're like, guys, like, what are you doing? The decision, I think, was it Kuzunov? Whoever threw it back, it was a poor decision to throw it back to him. But I agree. You know what it did? It's like your team score, obviously the crowd goal and Cherky's goal was utterly filthy. Like, I'm sorry, like, it was absolutely ridiculous, just making Arsenal defenders look like statues. But what that does, because of that immediate mistake, it sapped that momentum and energy out the stadium immediately, which is like, so that's actually what gave Arsenal a foothold in the game. Not that they didn't start like, apart from that Ryan mistake, they didn't start, but I mean, City hit the post. I mean, Gabriel was a borderline handball, by the way. I'm telling you that was a... I'd like to see where that hit in his arm. It's one of those ones where it was close enough to show where it's like it was probably hard to overturn because it was not definitive, but it was one of those you could, he's leaned into it. Good defending if it hits his shoulder. Obviously, if it hits his arm, it's smart. But yeah, I do think that gave Arsenal a foothold in the game, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, I do think... The thing I want to ask you, like, people talk, like, Arteta's talking about this, a lot of chat about this, like, good performance, and I agree with you. Look, if they had even 70% of that type of performance in these other games, like the league would be done,
It'd be
right,
done.
by now.
It'd be absolutely over.
It's the dropping points against 2-0 up against Wolves. Like these are the games that will have lost you the league. Not losing at the Etihad, right? Let's be real. Let's have it right.
Agreed.
Let's have it right. But when I go through the Arsenal team, so a few things occurred to me. Like Madueke, how did he play? Pretty crap. I thought he was pretty crap.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of injury stuff he's still carrying because he's been very attacking and solid in other performances.
I know. I'm trying to piece together this Arsenal performance that people like. I don't know actually how good the Arsenal performance was, and just hear me out on this. So, I thought Madueke was poor. The fullbacks got who was it? Mosquera playing against Doku got absolutely. Like, I actually thought Hincapié did well against Semenyo, was quiet. But so I think he was. I think the centre halves did okay. Like Gabriel, obviously he's fighting with Haaland all day. Lucky not to be sent off, by the way. And fair play to Haaland for having a bit of integrity and not going down in a heap. But yeah, he probably should have been sent off. I mean, I don't think that is aggressive, but I think the bar, it's like everything for consistency. If if Lisandro Martinez gets sent off for a little hair pull, I'm sorry, guys, that's a red card. But it is what it is, right? But then I go through a team and go, right, Declan Rice, didn't think he had a great game. Martin Odegaard, didn't think he played particularly well. Eze, apart from hitting by the way, what a shot that was. Oh. Apart from that, I can't remember him doing anything compelling in the game. Kai Havertz had a good game.
He was the MVP for that. He was the absolute best player on that pitch for Arsenal. Absolutely.
And Zubimendi, Billy's favorite Zubimendi, anonymous. So I'm kind of looking, going, actually, like Bernard, but when you look at people, you go, players that stood out. Like Kai Havertz, Bernardo Silva, I thought had a fantastic game.
Nico O'Reilly,
Cherky. So I'm going through, going. I thought City defended pretty well. Like Kusanov had a Gahey was really good as well. So I do look at the Arsenal performance and go, as much as we go, you're right, Mike. I think it was like it was front-footed, which is good. They didn't shy away from the fight.
That's right. They didn't park the bus.
No, but they did. I think they did get outplayed. Like, I do think they got outplayed I think mid to front they really got up. And Arsenal's defense and goalie, apart Mosquera had an absolute nightmare, right? Doku was just. I mean, you just. I was like, he's 1-on-1. Like he's just getting his pants pulled out.
The pace is, there was. Absolutely.
And he's a centre half, I think, Mosquera, right? He's not a right back. So I mean,
this is the thing, right? Like, it's
Ben White can't get a game though. Like,
what? Please don't. Like, I was thrilled to see him not in the starting. Like, we really miss Timber for sure. That has impacted a lot in terms of the wingback situation, and so, injuries are part of the match. But it's clear what a different back line it is without him, because you've got people playing out of position to cover for him, and just like Ben White looks lost every time he stands on the pit. He's just. And he wasn't that way 2 years ago. I think part of that's you're not getting the play, you're not getting the repetitions. But he lost his spot, rightfully so, to Timber, who's been playing great. And but it's a very different back line without him.
Mm-hmm. I think the interesting thing that I'd love to get your thoughts on here, Mike, is what do you do you genuinely think that the Arsenal players feel optimistic after that performance? Do you really think that they're going to go on some massive run thinking, you know what, we really actually gave it to City. We took them right to the very end. We're now going to go and demolish the next 6 games.
So if Billy's right from last week and that the team actually did vote Declan Rice to be captain, I think there's a possibility of that. Yes.
Well, you saw Declan after the game.
That's right. It's not over. Like, and the thing that pissed me off about that was, who was he saying it to?
Martin Odegaard,
friggin' captain of the club.
Well, Mike, can I make another? Sorry, was a jump, but I did notice this. So there's analysis done in the, I think Roy Keane made a good point about, you've got to be self-critical, right? And these, they lost the game in both boxes. They weren't clinical enough when they had their chances. Like Havertz had 2 huge chances.
Yep.
I know City had chances, but they took 2 of their chances. Arsenal took 1, and then defensively, when you look at you look at all the goals that were scored. Obviously, Donnarumma, it's a shocker, right? Yeah. Individual error. But you look for the Cherky goal. There's 4 Arsenal players. Some of their best defensive players don't even. I mean, I know he's in the box, but I think it was poor from Gabriel, kind of just sticking a leg out.
Yeah.
But the one that stood out was that Martinelli got a lot of heat. I actually thought Martinelli did the best out of the substitutes, in my opinion. When he came on, he actually he made the tackle on Gahey that caused the problem that led to the chance. He almost scored in the follow-up. There was then the quick throw out. I mean, I think it was a Zubamendi ball, just a hoof, like terrible quality. He was terrible. I thought he was anonymous in the game. But I know Martinelli went to press and it allowed Donnarumma to throw to O'Reilly. He should have looked behind him. But Odegaard was trying to sell. We saw it, Mike. Odegaard was pointing to Martinelli to drop back. He saw the danger. And as soon as Martinelli gambled, obviously made a mistake, right? I mean, it is a mistake, right? He went to gamble or to go and press, anticipating he'd throw it short. But Odegaard's reaction was not sprint back to try and help, And to be fair, Martinelli didn't sprint back either, by the way. And if they had, they may have been able to stop that O'Reilly, because O'Reilly takes the ball, plays it wide, gets it back, and there was enough time. I watched it back. Not what you expect to see from a captain, and I think it's crazy that he's the captain of that club. Crazy.
I mean, I've been saying it all year.
I mean, Gabriel's more of a captain than him. I mean, Declan Rice should be the captain, but Gabriel is also...
Rice should have been the captain the second he walked into that club.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
But Declan's performance wasn't...
That's rare. Come on, that's...
No, I love Declan, but he's not... But honestly, recently, I'm not seeing him... Like, do you know my thing is, Mike, now with like what, it's obviously like, the questionability is like, it's over now. People feel it's not over, right? He's right. I love that from Declan Rice after saying it's not over, like, because that shows character, strength of character, belief. Yep. But do you know the thing is, I actually think in a way, you might just find out who the best team is now and deserves this, because it kind of makes Arsenal's mind up for them. Like tactics to a point now, it's
out the window. Attack.
Well, you think the reason for that is because the goal difference factor, right? If it was just winning the games, it wouldn't change it now. And I think the interesting thing is, City play tomorrow night. If City, I think Rodri's out, but if they as you would expect them to win at Burnley, right?
And you would expect it to be a crooked number.
Well, you expect at least two or three. You expect a couple, enough to go top, right? So enough to put them in. Then
at least tied. It's a two-goal difference right now, right?
Yeah, they'll be at least tied, but they'll be. I think they're. Yeah, so you'd expect that. Arsenal have 2 home games against Newcastle and Fulham. Not sides that aren't easy to play against. And Newcastle have been problematic because of their physicality for Arsenal a little bit. And they are. I mean, now that the European places are wide open all of a sudden with Fulham, even Newcastle if they went. But so. I think that's just going to be. We're going to know in the next. If City take care of business tomorrow, obviously they slip up, then you're. And again, I'm not super confident. I don't go City will definitely win all their. I don't think they will win all their games. I think City have a slip up, whether away to Everton, away to Bournemouth. I think there's a draw, maybe a defeat there. But I think Arsenal the next 2 games, like you'll know, like you'll find out. We're going to know. And if Arsenal don't win those 2 games, and have a similar sort of tentative, nervous approach, cagey approach to those games, then I think we'll know early what's going to happen.
I think this is what I was saying to you guys in the voice note in the chat, that I don't think it's a case of will City win the title. I think it's a case of will Arsenal lose the title, and that's still the case, right? Of are Arsenal going to lose a game? Are they going to drop points? Because that is the way that City will win. Because we will drop points. Like, we're going up against an Everton which gave Liverpool a run for their money. They're chasing Europe.
Brathwaite's out for the season now.
But we are also playing away at Goodison Park, the new stadium. Yeah. So like, it's going to be a different game.
If we can beat them, I think you might be all right.
Don't get me wrong. I know what you mean. They're big game players, though, in the sense of like when they come up against a big team, like they will take it up a notch. Like that just fundamentally will happen. And also, let's not forget the final game of the season. The thing is that if we do not have any kind of a point lead before the final game of the season, where we're playing Villa, what happened last time we played Villa at home on the final day of the season when it was so close in the title race? We just barely won it, and that was through some De Bruyne ridiculousness. And
to be honest with me, at that point, the way if Chelsea play Brighton now, they're playing just now. I don't know what the score is, but if Chelsea don't win tonight and like Liverpool, Villa win at the week, Villa will have nothing to play for. Like by that point, I expect Villa to have nothing to play because Chelsea look like they've shat the bed, and it looks like the top 5. I think that it's one result away now, one game week swing away from honestly being done, because I think it's 7 points now, Liverpool to Chelsea, so that goes to 9 or 10 with 4 games to go, whatever. Like, it's done. So Villa will have Champions League football. They'll have one eye in Europe. Like, honestly, like you're not going to get, if they get to, you expect them to get to that European final. Everyone expect. I'm not saying it's a gimme, but you expect them to with Unai Emery. Honestly, like, you're a player. You don't care. You're not going to get injured. So I look at the fixtures again. You go Villa on paper. If Villa had to like get 5th, I'd feel very differently about it. I think, look, the Everton and Bournemouth away, because they're the fight for European places, are the 2 with jeopardy, and you're away from home. I don't. City will win all their home games, in my opinion. I think. I don't know. I think the difference is, like, Pep will take more risks. Like, I think that's the thing, right? We'll gamble in terms of like going to go and win those games in a way to be like, like, they're better than Everton. They will, if City play the way they played on Sunday, they beat Everton 9 times out of 10. Like, they will. Everton, Moyes has done a great job. Same as Bournemouth, So yes, we will see. But it's honestly, weirdly enough, it's the next 2 Arsenal home games. I think then they go to West Ham and Palace, and then I think they've got a home game against, it's another London club, isn't it?
Everything's in London to close the year.
Yeah, so who is it? It's Palace away, West Ham away, and there's something sandwich. No, Fulham's next. But the last 3 games, Mike's going to tell me.
Yeah, I'm looking.
It's, so they've got Newcastle home, Fulham home. I think it's then away to West Ham.
Burnley, yeah.
Burnley at home. Yeah, and then, so I mean, they're going to win. Now, the Palace, again, Palace should be distracted by other matters. You would think maybe. West Ham, if they won last night, they probably won't be safe. So that does become a bit of a banana skin, because away at West Ham, Nuno, we know what he's going to do. But I just think Arsenal, I do think the next 2 home, even though they're home games, because the pressure,
no walk. So,
but it's the pressure. And Fulham are a good team. Like, the pressure that comes playing first. If City go top, that to me will. If they win those 2 home games, I would
rather be going first.
I know.
I'd rather be going first. Like, that, you not having to respond to whatever happened, set the tone. Like, I think that's important in this. The fact that City's got a blank and we play Newcastle, that's important.
I agree.
And Champions League, though. Champions League's also a thing, and you are going to, like, no matter how fluidly you will play, there is going to be an injury within the course of one of those 2 legs.
Probably.
There's no doubt. It's Atletico Madrid. Like, they're going to shit house like no tomorrow. Like, short of Diego Simeone running on the pitch and headbutting Declan Rice, someone's getting injured. You just got to hope that it's one of your players that you don't really care about.
Right.
I don't know. I think that is going to be a big factor, because when it's the semi-final, when it is that close,
and that'll be a horrible game. Like, they will claw their way. So look, I think that I don't know when those European games land and what fixtures they sandwich in between. And Mike's going to look at it now for me, but I do think that I agree, mate. I think going first better. What I mean though is, like, the first time they'll be behind, if City win tomorrow night, then it would just be really interesting to see, like, how they deal with that sort of pressure. Because that really becomes squeaky bum time. That's like, you if you lose a home game or drop points in a home game in this run-in, I think you're going to be banging trouble, because City have 2 away games. You have 2 away games, right? And you have to win your home games. You have to win them. It is what it is. And the other question I want to ask Mike on the Arsenal side thing is how damning is it on Victor Gyökeres that Kai Havertz starts that game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's saying that he's Haaland.
But it's pretty damning, right? You mean so hear me out on this, right? And I know. So I'll remind you of things you said.
I think it was. I think it was what they wanted. It was as much the style of play and the tactics that they had as it was anything else. And he didn't fit what Arteta was trying to do in that moment. And he's so far been a goal scorer against bottom half clubs. So,
is he not just like a shite Olivier Giroud?
I think the problem
Olivier Giroud is better than him. in my opinion.
Olivier Giroud is like, I mean,
Miles
France's
better than
record goal
Gyökeres.
scorer, let's not forget. But also, let's remember that, like, I think the bigger problem is that they bought Gyökeres, but he doesn't suit the style of play that Arteta has, which is chuck it up to the big guy who's going to then flip it out to the wings.
He's
Like,
he's also just a bit shite, is he not? Like
he is a poacher.
Like,
he's a fox in the box, but he's
not a
literally
poacher. He's not a poacher. Like,
that's literally most of his goals. It's like not tap-ins, but like, oh, there's a fumble.
He doesn't
I'm
miss
going to
from
go
the
knock it in.
spot.
And that's literally it. He doesn't do hold up play. He doesn't like sort of.
That's right. He is not.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the type of play that Arteta wants.
Julie, a question I want to ask Mike, because Mike has said, I remember Mike being smug earlier in the season on this in the podcast. What occurred, what dawned on me on Sunday is that if Arsenal don't win this league, and the post-mortem is done, one of them, everyone's talking about Arteta and stuff like that, recruitment, that's where I'd be looking, because we've talked about, and being Arsenal fans been, oh look, it's a look, all these defenders. I've said this for years. I said if you swap Martin Odegaard and Bruno Fernandes, you have at least 2 titles, right? Ryan Cherky, like that type of player, is like, and you look at recruitment, Madueke, not good enough. Gyökeres, not good enough, right? Eze, I think he's brilliant, but has been woeful. Let's be honest. You know, take the Spurs game aside, he's done pretty much nothing, right, this season. And you look at, like, again, I just think Semenyo, Cherky, like, I think that's the difference in the managers, right? Yeah, I know they got Gahey, but that was almost like out of necessity because of their injuries. But you're going, I just don't understand. And then, you know, the caliber of player, and you're seeing now, like Bukayo Saka, I'm very critical of him. I think he's wonderful, but he's just woefully underperformed to his potential. But what you're seeing now is how much better he is than all these other guys. Like, genuinely, like he is in terms of like a level above. You know, I think Trossard, I don't know what's happened with him. I do like him. I think he's fallen off. I don't know what's happened to his form. He actually was. We
have too many players in that position.
And you need
nobody gets a run of form because you're rotating, and that's a problem. We have too many left wings.
Yeah, but you don't think you're missing, like, there is that, like, somebody that can create, like, you know, it's like Verts, like somebody like that, somebody that has that, like Cherky. You need somebody that's got a little bit of, because Odegaard is.
Yeah, well, again, and that's the thing is that should be Eze playing in the middle.
But it's not.
But it's not. And so he's stuck in this rotation on the left with Martinelli and Trossard.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me because, like you say, I mean, Odegaard is a good footballer. He's a good player. He's not a bad player. He's great in the, like, setting the tone for your press, but he's just so safe with his, like, he doesn't shoot.
Everything is sideways or backwards.
Yeah, and he doesn't shoot. Like, you know, like Declan Rice will, if he sees sight of goal, like Sobo's line,
swinging the leg,
he'll hit it, right? And it gives them, it means they've got to throw blocks. They've got, and it creates space. So that was, to me, occurred to me. I was like, you have over-rotated in your recruitment to the wrong end of the field here, and actually you've got some of your recruitment wrong. Like Gyökeres, to me, is a mid-table Premier League striker. I do believe that. Like, I really believe he's not that good. Like, honestly, like he's okay. And again, mid-table, I would put him. Like, that's where I put his level. And Kai Havertz, I'm not a big fan. He played well, but he's also not the answer, which is hence why you spend all that money and grow up. You're spending all that money. He can't be a guy that you don't. To not play him in that game and to spend that money on him, you believe he's been bought for these games, and you're wrong because he's not good enough.
I think that the biggest issue still is Arteta. I'm not saying that he is horrendous, right?
Is it because of his Lego hair? It's his Lego hair. Yeah.
No, it's because he sets fires to pitches. But it's more so a case of, like, can you look at a game and point to it and go, oh yeah, Arteta changed the tactics partway through the game. That made a hell of a difference. Rather than it being Arsenal got a corner right at the end of the game, or a set piece right at the end of the game, knocked it in.
Not particularly.
Those are two very different things.
Ask Mike. I don't know. I can't remember one. But Mike,
and leveraging free kicks and corners is a very different thing, right? So, like, I'm just sort of thinking, like, it's becoming. I'm starting to think that it's less and less of a mentality thing. It's more. It feels like more of a case that, do the Arsenal players really know what to do, or get the instructions when it goes south? I'm not entirely sure. Like, I don't think that, like, if you really look at the game from the other day, they played the same game throughout. I don't think that they changed the tactics at all throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
And they pretty much and like in that sort of a situation, when you get to like 70 minutes, you change things up. You change the way that you're playing, or at least react to City. Like City had a 4-2-4 formation, right? Surely they should be like stacking it so then they can actually break the first four quite comfortably. They didn't do that at all once the entire game. Surely, like, if City is sticking with that, that's because Arteta's not changing his tactics.
Well, do you know what it was as well? I don't know if you noticed in the game. Like the thing of White, like, just drives me why I think Arsenal was such a crap watch. And even in that game, I don't think they played that well. I thought they at least they set out to press and stop City playing out. But I think what I learned is it's like I feel like Arsenal players are almost programmed to just like the amount of times they go back to Raya when you don't need to. I'm like, what are you doing? Like you've got space in front of you. Like you don't. You're encouraging. You're getting City. You're allowing them to come up the pitch. And there's almost this like negative. It's the opposite of what it should be, right? Try and pass forward if you can, right? I'm not saying you don't hit hopeful balls up front to Kai Havertz on his own, but they're so happy to go back, almost like it's almost like they're just like everything's got to start from the. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and it's frustrating because you're kind of like, what you like. It's almost like wait till the guy comes to you, then give Raya the. But it's like it's okay to do that if you draw a guy out of position to create space to open, but there just seems this like I don't know if you think that might, but I don't know. It just drives me wild watching them.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, there's a lot of backwards play, and I think that that's also down to some of the like we talked about with Odegaard. Like that's his mindset feels like either square or back. Like, so yeah, I think it is programmed into them, and it's also like Billy talked about last week. Like we spend so much time trying to take the risky play in our defensive third instead of like instead of just playing it forward. I can't argue with any of it.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. So, like, want to get your perspective. We'll close this segment. We have other things. We need to talk about Chelsea and their manager, and we'll talk a bit about the relegation battle and the race for Europe briefly. But Waz, I'll start with you. So, like, how are you both feeling in terms of the run? Look, it's neck and neck, right? So it is. I think Opta said Arsenal have a 73% chance to win the league, which is interesting. Probably again based on fixtures.
Has to be.
Yeah,
Burnley's probably 80% of that 70%.
Yeah. No, I think Arsenal definitely have the easier. They do have the easier. On
Fulham is the match that's sandwiched between the Real Madrid matches, by the way.
The Atletico. Okay, so it's Atletico Madrid leg one, Fulham, Atletico Madrid. Yes. Right, that is a problem. I was almost like I wanted to get those two games out the way would have been better. But anyway, so Waz, Mike, how are you feeling in terms of how bullish do you feel? So I guess Mike, for you, do you still believe, and how much do you actually believe? And then Waza, same with you, like because again, the belief is being sapped from City. We've been close before, and then they've just had some shocking results. So where are you both at in the belief scale? Like genuine belief, like not like trying to believe in your team because you love them and you will obviously support them the whole way in, but genuine belief. Like what level are you at?
It's 50-50.
Okay, so you're 50-50. Okay, you're not Billy yet. That's good. Okay, you're not a zero. That's good. Okay, Wazo, yeah. What were you? Are you feeling the same, Wazo, or do you feel a little bit more?
Absolutely astounded that no Arsenal. Like I'm so surprised that Arsenal. I'm very much Team Pep in the sense of like they're at the top of the league. They have an easier run in. What is happening? Why are they so pessimistic?
Have you watched the last 3 seasons?
The thing is, I am not optimistic that we'll win the league. I'm not disappointed because I think it's what we deserve. I am happy with how we're finishing the season.
Okay,
like, we are finishing it on a high. Like we have pulled it back a lot. I don't think that we're going to win the league though.
Okay, can I just share? I just saved a screenshot of this. I thought was interesting. Why you might? I understand what you're saying, Waza. You are always glass half empty though with your own team. Did you see the stat of Mikel Arteta has been in charge for, is it 6 years now? This is season 6. This is his 6th season.
Is this his win rate by month?
April.
Yeah, 40-something%.
Mate, it's awful. Like 2021, drew 1, lost 2. 2022 lost 3. 2023 drew 3, lost 1. 2024 drew 2, lost 1. 2025 lost 3, drew 1. Now 2026 they beat Sporting, right? They got beat by Southampton. They got beat by Bournemouth. They now beat by City in April. So you go through. So you're going, and April. This is squeaky bum time. This is the when it matters, right? If you're in, even if it's top 4, it doesn't matter what race you're in. This is when it matters.
Yep.
But the thing is, the difference is, I'm not looking at Arsenal. I'm not looking at Arsenal's performances. I'm not looking at their fixtures. I'm looking at City's performances and fixtures. Do I think that our backline is solid enough to prevent like banana skins from happening? Absolutely not. Donnarumma literally showed that the other day.
But you don't think Wanda like
capable of a fuck up at any point?
What is it? Listen, I feel that there's a softness to City. I think like Rodri, Bernardo Silva, I think give you like I think they are the thing that I would say gives you the solidity, right, in terms of like the experience they have and the quality. But it is a matter of like it might feel. I think somebody said this like this team, like Guardiola didn't expect them to have like guys like Cherky is really kicked on, right? Doku is kicked into a bit of good form. Haaland it's not been a very, I think he's been pretty average this season, but he does have that. He's got that fire in his belly, right? Bernardo Silva's playing as well as he's just ridiculous. Nico O'Reilly, form of his life. Mark Gahey has obviously settled in really quickly and played well. Kusanov has come. He's actually dipped off. Like he was good, but he's dipped off. I think he was terrible against Arsenal, by the way. He didn't take his man on once. But you know what I mean, Wazza? There's an element of like, if I just said to Mike, all of the Arsenal players, like how many Arsenal players you say right now, Mike, David Raya, banging form. But outside of that, how many Arsenal players you go, yes, they're in really good form. Like you are, I mean, Saliba's been consistent. Gabriel's been consistent. But I think Hincapié has done pretty well. I think he's pretty good. But outside of that, you start to struggle. Whereas City, you kind of go, yeah, there's a lot of guys that are on the upward tick. So does that not give you more belief, Waza? Like that's what I would be if I was a City fan going, do you know what? We might have just, at this critical moment, be hitting form at the right time, just clicking at the right time. No?
So I will only have a bit more optimism depending on how we play and dispatch Burnley, if we dispatch Burnley, because this feels like prime for us to go to Burnley and get a draw. Like if we can actually overcome that and maintain that form and actually do a really good job at Burnley, that is the real test. Because
but surely you're not going to meet. I mean, Burnley got beat.
There is no surely. This entire season is an entire season based on not being able to say short.
Mike, are you having this from him?
Not the Burnley match. No.
Like, for example, even if Arsenal are going to Burnley tomorrow night, Mike, you're going. We're going to find a way to you'll win that game, right? You have to. If you don't believe that,
is more of a banana skin than Burnley.
If you don't believe that, if you believe like that, if that's your like you've lost like that's crazy. Like after that result, they're going to go to Burnley and lay an egg. No way. Like it's the other games, like you say. Like there's no Burnley are relegated, confirmed. They're down.
Dropping points against teams at home that we shouldn't have dropped points against. That is debilitating.
But the team is different now, isn't it? It's playing at a different level now. Like Cherky's.
It's not been that long since Forest. Yes, of course. No, don't get me wrong. The team is hitting form.
But the difference is Forest are a team that are on the up. They're actually into, whereas Burnley, they were 1-0 up against, got smashed 4-1 and got booed off the park, right? So it's like, and look, it's one of those things, I say that professional sports, I mean, Burnley are not, you don't get an injury, like your edge is not going to be there because you know you're down. Like, you know you're down. It's done now, right? So it's almost like...
the only thing is that you've seen it before for teams that are done. There is no more pressure. You play freely, and that's you suddenly see stuff, and you're like, where the fuck was this for the last 36 games? And so for the teams that are like, so far, Wolves is the only one that's confirmed.
Burnley's down too.
What's that?
No? Are Burnley not confirmed yet? No.
The only one that's mathematically eliminated is Wolves.
Oh, okay. So Burnley still technically have something to play for.
And Burnley, the players in those positions, they're going to want to see like how many Premier League teams are going to pick them up.
Yeah,
in the summer.
They're all auditioning for a job to stay up while the team goes down.
Listen, if they play free, they'll get smoked. They'll get smoked. Like, I'm telling you, like play free and they will smoke. Like City will smoke you. Like
yes.
So there's going to be no playing. Scott Parker will not have them playing free.
No.
But no, look, I just don't see in terms of after that win on Sunday, just there's going to be that fire. I know Rodri's not going to be available, but I just feel like you know, when you've got what's his name, Reinders, I think he's a great player. He's in the bench. You look at the bench. I mean, they do have.
He started off on fire, and we haven't heard his name, right?
Yeah,
So.
I think they've got plenty in the tank. So look, City win tomorrow. There's no doubt. It's what happens after that. It's Arsenal's next 2 games and City's following 2 games. That defines the outcome. I think though. Yeah, I think then it just the games maybe get a little bit easier towards the end of the year, but we'll see. What a time to be alive. What about Chelsea boys? Liam Rossignow, David Brent of the league. I mean, you know, just talking about like, I heard him say that Man United came, we played better than them. They scored with their only shot on target. That should be impossible. It's like, well, yeah, it's not impossible. Liam, is it? Like, you know, like if you have a shot on goal, like there's a chance it goes in, you moron. Like Caicedo's form. Talk about a player that's gone off a cliff for the past 2 months. Like Enzo Fernandez is like one of the best midfielders in the league. By the way, he's. Again, I don't know why you would. I don't care what he says. Like the way you're playing right now, like
if he could only keep his mouth shut, he'd be just fine.
I mean, I still think like I don't think he's in anything wild either. I'm not that. I'm like, look, did you have a word with him internally and say just has he ever let the team down on the pitch? Not that I've seen. Like, whereas Caicedo has been absolutely shit for 2 months. Cole Palmer has been crap all season. The João Pedro injury is huge. I think like that's a massive because Delap's just not the guy. I knew when they signed him. I said to my brother, he's just not the guy at that level. He's not. He's a battering ram. He's like he's similar to Gyökeres for me. He's just like a big lump. So yeah, I mean Chelsea now looks like 7. Look, thankfully Liverpool. I never thought I'd say this. Was quite happy to see Man United win. Obviously, we get the late Virgil winner against Everton, which then puts the 7-point gap now, which looks like Again, I don't want to say it because like you was, I've been burnt too many times this year. But we're playing Palace at home. We win that the weekend. I don't know what the Chelsea score is right now. I hope they're getting humped by Brighton.
They're 1-0.
1-0 to Brighton.
Pascal
Gross, baby. Pascal Gross.
And then listen, by the way, I know you love him as well. I heard that you fancy him. I'd love to see Brighton get European. I think they've been a great watch all year. And he's done a good job there. But that's fantastic news because if Chelsea lose tonight or don't win, and we win at the weekend, and it goes to 9 or 10 points with was it 4 games to go? Then it is done. The top 5 is secured. Champions League football, the pressure's off, and we can go and enjoy. Then it becomes about we play Villa and United, so it becomes about who wins those games, as in the order of things. So yes, that would be like a relief for me, just so I don't have the stress of considering that the season could fall even more off a cliff than it has. Although Brighton up to 50 points though, so they're only 5 behind us. So we do need to win that game in hand. That'd be 8. It's too much with 4 games to go. Only 12 points to play for. So yes, but yeah, Chelsea are just like London clubs like them and Spurs just a joke. Look, Spurs managed to get a point. Not West
in
Ham
the most Spursy way possible.
Of course, you love to see it. That's it, celebrating like they won the game too early. And then obviously West Ham felt like a massive missed opportunity last night. A Palace team that have got their eye on other things. Yeah. I know they might see it as an extra point, but it felt like if they won that game, it would be really hard for Spurs.
Yeah.
Now it's opened the door. Spurs play Wolves next, and you think if they can win that game, it could spark something here. So it is going to be an interesting run. It Leeds look like they're just like 1 point or maybe 2 points away from safety now.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, I think they're going to be fine. They're playing really well. So it does look like West Ham or London.
West Ham and Spurs. It's a battle for a London club. Could
you imagine this? Like you got that shit show at the bottom of the table with Spurs. You got Chelsea being the absolute. Do you imagine they fall out of European places altogether, which could happen the way they're going, and then Arsenal bottle the title? It's like what a time to be a Northerner, Waza, right?
It's just in our blood. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
It's who we are. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it means Ange might get a job next year. I'd love to see it.
You know what I find fascinating? I just don't like how many manager rotations have actually worked this season. I think the only one has been the latest one from Man
United,
from Forest. Yeah. Oh yeah, and United.
Yeah,
Chelsea have completely just not done well. Spurs have completely fumbled it. Wolves, it made no difference.
They're still shit. Yeah,
still terrible, right?
And look at Leeds. Leeds stuck with their man, and they're in a semi-final.
Yep,
against Chelsea, I believe.
Yeah, and they can win that.
Absolutely, they should win it on current form. Absolutely.
Yeah. What a time to get Chelsea! Like you go, that Leeds have hit, and they're banging form now. Stuck by their man. You know what is, and this is why I was talking to a guy at the gym today. My neighbour is a Liverpool fan. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans are done with Slot. And I'm like, look, mate, I the only reason I would want rid of him is I've not enjoyed watching the team for months. It's not about the fact we didn't win the league this year. Look, you have these peaks and you can't be that way inclined, right? He won the league last year, so whatever, right? But I said, look, I'm somewhat glad we got, because I felt we didn't get Champions League football. They might have been forced to, so I'm kind of a bit relieved, because I said, look at Man United for all those years. I just don't ever see. I know Chelsea have done it and had sporadic success. I just feel it's the same with Arteta at Arsenal. I don't have a problem like sticking, because I do think that generally speaking will play out better than going the other extreme of, right, do you know what? You know what I mean? The way that Chelsea have done it, or for example, or Spurs or Man United. And I'm just like, if we were going to transition now with some of these all-time greats leaving, like Man United went through that and they just went into the doldrums for so many years. And you just think, imagine they stuck with David Moyes for 5 years. We all know they'd be in a better spot. Like, they would not have gone through so much shit, right? So I am somewhat relieved to say, look, if you thought Slot was a guy, give him 3 years. And after 3 years, yeah, look, if he's not able to cut it with the big boys, then you maybe make a change. Like, and I said the only caveat to that is, if you, let's say Jurgen Klopp, I'm coming back, or somebody you go, this guy's available, and he's Guardiola wants a change, or there's not many of these guys, by the way. No, I know you're laughing once, but you know what I mean, because I can't think of many other managers that I would say fit that mold, right? You'd be like, you would just be forced to take. You'd be like, sorry, Arna, like, we need to take this decision because, like, somebody just elite is available. I think that's fine. So I'm kind of a little bit relieved that it seems somewhat settled, and then it becomes about focusing on next season for us. So, yeah.
I've got to jump, but I want to leave Arsenal fans with one last message, which is just cheer up. Jesus,
they are still top of the league.
miserable.
We're in a Champions League semi-final. So
You're in a Champions League semi-final. You are top of the table in April. What is wrong with you? Stop it. Grow up. Right. Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Waza. There you go. That message was for Billy Blanchett. Yes. Who we had on the podcast at our last episode. So yes. Well, Mike, this is it. I think we don't need to cover fantasy this week because we're already still in flight. So yes, hopefully you made some good decisions.
I did, although just back to Chelsea, João Pedro is injured and nobody tells us these things. I know. And then no Palmer today. So I got a whopping 2 points out of my bench boost from those two, but I'm still on a significant rank having Green Arrow because of thank you, Brighton. So Pascal Gross is the differential that's paying major dividends.
Van Hecke as well, right? You put
Van Hecke as well, yeah. So I got a boatload of assists. So very
you'll take it, mate. You'll take them to the bank, mate. Take them all the way to the bank. That's it.
Absolutely. I'll finish where Arteta couldn't.
Yes. So, are you going to be watching the Man City game tomorrow?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've got 3 players in fantasy.
Yeah, just praying for a miracle, right? At this point,
that is not the game where the miracle happens. It's like no.
Yeah, the Newcastle game is Saturday. That's a 12:30. It's a 12:30 for you. You'll 5:30 p.m. here, so Eastern time you'll be 12:30.
Yep,
that's a huge game. I think that's going to be fun.
Sets the tone for the run-in.
Yeah, and so let's see. They got
one way or the other. It sets the tone.
Look. I think you think about the next week and a half. Like it's going to be like 2 league games and 2 Champions League games. Okay. And I think you'll know everything at the end of that.
Yep. By May 5th, we'll have a really good sense of where things are.
You sure will. Okay, well, listen, good to chat. Nice to do this new time slot. I think it works better. So thanks again for everyone that listens, all of our 5 listeners. We appreciate it.
Yes, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Exactly. Yes, especially with Mike up leveling all the social stuff. So more of that to come. But yes, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time